and I am here to what? Do a little review for you today. Yes, your girl is back. She's in the house and she is here today to do a review. Okay, so I haven't been on. Last time I was on was last Friday. Um, no, I got on sometime this week also. But I know you guys are used to me coming on constantly, but I have to set a set schedule so that I can do this consistently as well as continue with life things like work and family and just, personal things that I'm trying to do and goals I'm trying to achieve. So, bear with me everyone while, I do that, okay? So, hey Natalie, how have you been? Happy birthday. Oh my goodness. I love that for you. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So today we're going to do a review. So I won't be able to talk to everyone while I'm doing my review because this review will be uploaded um, within 24 hours. So the review is called I'll Never Let You Go, and it is a movie review starring Megan Good, Thomas Cartwright, and Antonio Cupo. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not positive, but I saw it. It was a really, really cool movie. And I've had a lot of personal insights. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I've had a lot of personal insights watching this movie, so I will be putting my own brand of common sense in this movie as I'm telling you about this movie. So please bear with me. That's right. So once again, the movie's called I'll Never Let You Go, and it is starring your girl, Megan Good. That's right. So it is eye candy for the guys, and it's eye candy in there for the girls. Because when I tell you, peekaboo. Yeah, it's eye candy for both of us. We all get a chance to watch something good for the eyes, okay? Because they definitely picked a good leading man for her. Goodness! Hey, Christopher, I haven't seen you in a while. How have you been? I'm so glad you're here. I'm actually getting ready to do my review, so you caught me just in time, right before I start my review. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So I'm going to do a review today, and the movie's called I'll Never Let You Go, and it's starring doing so good. I'm doing so good right now. I just popped on so I could do my movie review and full breakdown of I'll Never Let You Go, starring Megan Good. And the movie's good, and it's eye candy for men and women in this movie. Yes, um, and I really enjoyed it. And it's a lot of you can take a lot of insight in this movie. There's some takeaways that you can carry in real life. So that was what one of the things that I liked. I understand. I understand. I haven't been going live as much as I usually do. Usually I go to live at least 3 to 4 times a week. Lately I've been finding myself going live once or twice a week, but that's work and in life. Yes, called Never Let You Go. So if you guys are ready, I'm about to start my breakdown. So y'all ready? Here we go. All right. So the movie starts out with um both Megan Good and her co-star Thomas. They're both Tom and I think her name is Emily Westover. Okay. So they dropped their daughter off at Berkeley because it's her first year. She's a freshman, so she's going away to college. So they have officially became empty nesters. So basically they're trying to find a way of balancing and figuring out how to become empty nesters as well as just getting to know each other all over again. While this is happening, while this is happening, um, Megan is feeling neglected. Megan is feeling neglected, and she's feeling neglected because he's always been about, he was a stay-at-home dad, and now that he's trying to write his book, he's trying to kind of find himself. And Megan is like, hey, our daughter isn't here no more, so there's no more excuses. I mean, she said, look, I'm gonna just say this. She was trying to basically, get a little something, something going. He turned her down. She said, it has been 3.5 months. You know, when somebody counting how long it is, and when they put that half month in, that means that it's been way too long. And I mean, it blew my mind to think that a man would go 3.5 months of turning Megan Good down. Okay. But yeah. So he's, going without, and she's going without, and she's in here. She's like, really trying her best to ignite the fire. Um, she's trying to, really get it going again. But unfortunately, he's kind of pushing away. He's like, I finally have an opportunity to work on my book, and he is laser focused. So I'm not mad at him for that. She was the person who went out and had the career the whole time. And he was the one who was the stay at home dad. So she works as an art gallery curator. So while she's working at the art gallery, she leaves that day and she goes to work. So when she goes to work, the owner of the art gallery brings a man in named Carlo. That's right. Carlo comes in and he's like this Italian punk. Okay. He steps in the door and he's, got the little Italian swag, dressed looking nice. You could tell he was smelling good, looking good. And you could tell she's kind of looking, checking him out. Everybody in the art gallery kind of stopped, looked, was like, okay. And he had the Italian accent and kissed her hand and did the little muta bella thing, whatever. I don't know what that means, but I know bella means pretty, I think, I guess. But she's eating it up. But then she kind of come back to reality and she's like, I'm a married woman. I'm married. I'm married. I'm married. And he's like, okay. So the owner of the art gallery need Carlo to do some stuff. So she basically, okay, clock that. Okay, I like that. So then she sends her to his art gallery and tells her, um, use your charm. We need him to produce more artwork because he has a showing coming up in her particular gallery. So Megan goes over there. Megan goes over there and she's, impressed with his artwork. He's a photographer and his work was beautiful. And he basically was showing body lines of women. His brand of photography was kind of putting women in the most sexiest light possible. And of course, they loved it and they ate it up. So when she came in, he had a woman naked in a barrel. Yes, that was one of the photos. I was like, okay, that's a choice. And so the woman gets up and leaves, and he's inviting Megan to stay because he's devouring her with his eyes. He's inviting her to stay for a drink. And she's like, no, no, no. And she ends up staying for that one drink and she leaves and says, thank you for letting me stay, but I have to go. So she goes. When she leaves, this man is on her mind constantly. Now, mind you, she is a married woman, but unfortunately, her husband is not really checking for her right now. And it's not that she did anything or he did anything. It's just that they don't know how to be together without a child being there also. They don't know how to be there without, and I think that's often a problem with empty nesters. You have been trying to raise your children for so long that now that you're an empty nester, you don't know how to reconnect. You don't know how to be an adult again by yourself. Everything is child friendly or child adjacent or a child attached. Now it's just you two adults in there, and she's ready for it. Like she told him, she said, hey, let's get it on the counter. And he was like, no, ma'am. I gotta get my book. I gotta do my book. You got your job, you got your world, you got your this, you got your that. It's my time. So she really wasn't feeling it, but what can you do? So he goes ahead and he goes to the room. And because of that, that night she just kept thinking about the Italian guy. We just gonna call him the Italian guy, okay? Carlo. So she was just thinking about Carlo running through her head or whatever. So the next day, one of the other people who work at the art gallery was telling them they need something from Carlo, and they asked her could she go to Carlo's gallery to go get it and to convince him to do some promos for them. And she says, yes, of course, this is a part of her job. So she goes. When she goes, she sees Carlo. He's there looking good, smelling good. And he's like, hey, beautiful. He's like, why don't you stay for dinner? And she was like, dinner? No, I gotta go. He's like, no, you can stay. You want me to do the stuff? Come on, talk to me. You can stay. She stays. He pulls her in. He is like, when I see you, I don't see a wife. Because she said, I'm married. He's like, you married, but are you happily married? And she's like, she didn't say nothing. She was like, then she says, yes, I'm happily married. And he was like, okay, well, let me just say this. When I see you, I don't see a wife. I don't see a mother. I see a beautiful woman. And she's eating it up. She's just sopping it up with a biscuit, eating it all up. And so he's saying all this stuff to her. It's going to her head. And so he starts dancing with her. Something she wants to do with her husband, but he's once again, like I said, not doing this type stuff. So he's not doing any of this type stuff. So he's like, okay. So she goes ahead and she's like telling him, okay, so she falls into it. So when Italian guy leans in, he pulls her in as he's dancing with her, he grips her up like this is mine now. And yeah, well, the dancing turned horizontal. Okay. I'm just gonna say that because he kisses her passionately and he's like rubbing and doing all this other kind of stuff. Next thing you know, she wakes up late at night, laying on this man's bed, naked. Yeah, that's right. She went ahead, cheated on her husband. Yes, I do. Yes. She cheated on her husband. Unfortunately, she cheated on him. And so she's realizing, she grabs her phone, she realized that he called her a couple times, like, where you at, whatever. And she gets her stuff on and she runs out the house. And she runs out and she hops in her car and she notices that she has a ticket and she goes home. So the next day, the husband is making breakfast and they're sitting down there eating breakfast. And he says to her, he's apologized to her for not really giving her any attention. And he's like, I love you. I'm sorry I'm not giving you the attention that you want, that you desire. But, we got to get back into us. And, he's talking to her. And I'm like, oh, I love that. I love that for them. Except that she just, rolled out of bed with another man. So she goes ahead and she's like, yeah, yeah. And he's like, I saw that you had a ticket. She's like, oh yeah, me and one of my girlfriends from work, we went out and, I parked there and I had a ticket. Well, I'll go take care of it. I'll pay it tomorrow. He's like, no, don't even worry about it. I already went and paid it. I mean, good husband. Good husband. Okay. Even though I don't like that he was ignoring her on a lot of different things, but I think, and she was trying to talk to him. I can say that. So it's not a situation of, oh, she should have talked to him because she did talk to him profusely, constantly, about the situation, about wanting to be intimate, wanting to get back into them doing things, taking cooking classes and all this kind of stuff. And he was kind of pushing her, away. And like he would do things like just talk to his daughter, but not really speak to her. It was very odd. Um, so next thing you know, she starts a full on affair with the Italian guy. Yeah, she's coming over there for dinner. They smashing every chance they get. Um, One night he's in here talking to her, just like really you can see he's opening up more to her, talking about his book and everything. And she's like, oh, I have a party to go to with one of my friends. And she leaves and she goes to the party. And it really turned out to be a party for one of her friends. So while she's at the party for her friend, um, the art gallery owner end up bringing Carlo. Now, of course, the art gallery owner don't know her, the curator, and don't know that Megan and the Italian guy is knocking it. But she brings him, and he's no, this is a movie. The movie is, it's a Make a Good movie. It's called I'll Never Let You Go. So she goes ahead and she goes into the bathroom to try to get herself together, because she's like, at this moment, she's in her head. She realizes that she wants to make things work with her husband. So she's saying, okay, I got to end this, and the third. And who comes into the woman's bathroom but the Italian guy? That's right. Carlo busts in there. He locks the door. And she's like, no, we can't do this. We can't do this. But she is so wet up over this Italian guy, even though she's saying no, they get the on that kitchen on a bathroom counter, the at the club. Yeah, the club. Yeah, in the bathroom on a counter. That's right. So as she goes ahead and they fixing themselves up and she's leaving, her friends, they know what's going on. So one of the friends rushes over to her with her cell phone and says, your husband has been calling you. Um, Your husband has been calling you, and your daughter got into a car accident. So while she up in there knocking boots, that's the old saying, while she up in there doing the do, the daughter and husband was the husband been trying to get in contact with her because the daughter was in a car accident. Now the daughter's fine, everything's okay. Um, yes, yes, hello. Everything's okay. However, they was like, trying to reach out to her, and she was like ghosting. So once again, she's with this guy and she's like away from her family when her family needs her. And this is going through her head. So she's realizing, okay, I got to cut ties with this guy. So the guy, one night while she was with the guy, he takes a photo of her while she's laid out in his bed. He says, oh, I can't wait because I'm going to do a nice photo of you. And she's like, a photo of me? No, you're not. So she tells him, delete the photo. So he deletes the photo. So she says, is that the only photo of me that you have? And of course, he's like, yes, that's the only photo. He's a photographer, girl. I wouldn't believe that. I'd be checking through dark rooms and everything else. No, Well, actually, I wouldn't put myself in that position, but okay, I digress. So she goes ahead and she's like, okay, I gotta end this with this guy because now it's really causing me a lot of extra stuff. Like, so she gets home and she tells her husband, you know, um, I'm sorry, I was at the club. I'm sorry. How was our daughter? And he's like, she's okay. He was like, I just got off the phone with her. Hold on, let me call her back so you can talk to her. She's like, no, 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 I'll talk to her in the morning. He was like, talk to her in the morning. He's like, your daughter just got into a car accident. He's like, what, are you drunk? And she was like, no. She said, I popped a a little pill earlier. And full disclaimer, I don't condone people doing that. If you cannot do that, don't do that, because and it was a prescribed pill from somebody else, which is the biggest no-no. Like, you don't know how that's going to affect you. But she did that at the club. So it made her more loosey-goosey and kind of just out of it even more. So she didn't want to talk to her daughter like that, which I understand. But her husband was like, so that's what we do now? Like, you using now? And she's like, no, no, it was a prescription pill. It wasn't nothing like that. But yeah, it made me loose. And he's looking at her like, who are you? I don't even know you. So the next day, she basically tells the guy, okay, we gotta backtrack. We can't be doing this no more. And he's like, nah, we're gonna keep on doing this. So the next day is his art opening. So the art gallery is filled with his pictures, his paintings, and who comes to the art gallery but her daughter and her husband? Yes, yes, yes. The daughter and husband come to the art gallery. So as they walk in the art gallery, she's shocked and she shooketh, okay? Because, this is the showing of the Italian guy, the guy she's been having an affair with. So who starts talking to the husband as soon as he walks through the door? That's right, the Italian guy, because he knows what the guy looked like, because he's seen her family photos on her desk. So this Italian guy, clearly you could tell is not Yeah, he had some serious issues because he was all ready to blow this woman's world up at a single drop of notice. But I can't really say that because she blew her own world up. The moment you step out on your mate, all bets are off. You are responsible for whatever damage comes behind that. So, and I'm not trying to be on a high horse or anything. I'm just stating a fact. Okay, that's just a fact. Anything that comes of adultery or cheating on your spouse, that's on you. You did that. You can't blame the other person. You can only blame you because you put yourself in that position. So she went ahead and walked over there, and she's like, "Hey, hey," you could tell she's like stressed or whatever. So they kind of part ways because they have to go ahead and kind of circulate, because she's a curator, so she's supposed to be selling the art and everything. And he's the artist, so he's supposed to be around circulating whatever. So then he says, I have one final unveiling. And so when he unveils it, what is it? And it's a gorgeous photo, but it's her sprawled out on the bed, hair askew, looking like she just had one passionate night of amor. That's right. Yeah. And her husband and daughter standing there looking like, Mom, wife, like what's going on? The owner of the art gallery, she's looking and she is not happy. I have my own little things with the owner because to me the owner is a little bit messy. I'll tell you why. When it suited her, she used Megan's looks to try to sway this guy. But I really believe she had some issues because she didn't like the fact that Carlo clearly was into Megan and was not into her. It doesn't say that. It doesn't, give more into the storyline of that. But that's just kind of air that it gave off. You know what I mean? Because this is like this really rich woman who went out her way to find Carlo from Italy and bring him over here. And, she wanted him to like go to lunch with her, do all this type of stuff for her. But he was not in it for her. He was trying to be stuck to Megan the whole time. So that's what it kind of gave off. But anyway, so the art owner came over to Megan and said, "Oh, I guess he found his own. I guess he found a new muse, huh?" And that's when it clicked for me because when she said that, she said, "Huh? Yeah, I guess he found a new muse, huh? Mm-hmm. Guess he found somebody else. You're fired." That's right. She fired her. Yeah, because she assumed she didn't know for sure, but she assumed that she was with the guy. She was. That the fact she was, but she didn't know for sure. Anyway, so Megan lies and she basically tells her husband because her husband's like, "Come on, confess, tell me the truth. Are you sleeping with this man? I need to know the honest truth." And of course, she says, "No, I'm not sleeping with him. That's some type of deep fake. He put my face on there. He used some type of AI to put my face and body on there. That's not me at all." And the husband's like, okay, you could tell he didn't believe it, but he wanted to believe it, which is a difference. Sometimes, even though you know something's not true, but you passionately really want to believe it, you'll go along to get along because you want that. You know what I mean? You're like, I want to believe it. I want that to be true. But you can kind of tell he was not fully on board initially. So, but she says to him, I got fired, and she's crying, crocodile tears. And of course, him being her husband, he wants to comfort her, so he does. He comforts her, he pulls her in, and he's like, "It's okay." He's rubbing her back. He was like, "It's okay," you know. And she says, "Let's just move. Let's move. Let's go back to I think was it San Francisco or somewhere else." They said some part of California. They live in Napa, but they want to move closer to their daughter near Berkeley. So he was like, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah, let's move. So he's all for it. So they pack up, they try to sell the house. And who comes to one of the house showings but Carlo. That's right, the Italian guy. He came there with all the audacity and energy. She already told him, I never want to see you again. You caused me to lose my job. Oh, I didn't tell you about this part. A few nights after it happened, she goes to Carlos' house and she's like trying to tell him, leave me alone. Stop calling me, stop texting me. I don't want nothing to do with you. I got fired because of you, and you try to expose me to my family. Carlos like, okay, you ain't going nowhere. Now, mind you, earlier that day, she had a meeting with one of her lawyer friends, and her lawyer friend said, oh, yeah, I did a background check on the guy you're talking about, and it's not good. This guy is not well balanced. His ex girlfriend has a restraining order on him before he left. It doesn't give specifics on what he did, but she needed a restraining order to keep him away. So, she's in this man's apartment by herself, and she's like trying to tell him, what you gonna do? You gonna stop doing this? You gonna stop doing that? And he's like smiling. He was like, no, you're mine. We're gonna be together. You're gonna leave your family. She's like, I'm not gonna leave my family. So he pulls her in. He's like, okay, okay, you can go, but you gotta kiss me one last time. In my head, I'm screaming, girl, no, no, just leave, leave, leave. You're done, you're done. No, she leans in to try to kiss him, but of course, that little peck on the lips was not what he wanted. He wanted something more than just a little, he wanted something more. You know what I'm talking about. So I'm also thinking to myself, I wouldn't even play with this guy because for all you know, he could have cameras all around. And as soon as you lean in, it could be live streamed right to your husband or something. I don't know. But she goes ahead and leans in, and he tries to grapple for more, and she fights him off and pushes him away. And he's trying to grab her, and she smacks him. And when she smacks him, you see a full blown craze switch, boom, go off, because he goes from this charismatic Italian suave man to a crazed, I'm about, oh, this what you want. He gets excited. He's like, oh, you like it rough. You like it rough. All right. You want to play rough? We'll play rough. When he said that, I was like, oh, shoot. I clutched my pearls. Yes, I did. I was like, oh, girl, you better run. Run for your life, girl. And that's exactly what she did. She pulls out that doggone handy dandy spray. She sprays him and takes off and runs for her life. And she gets out of there just fine. Yes. So now we get back to her trying to sell the house. The guy comes there and he hands her something that says, come to my house again, or I'm telling your husband everything. So by that time, she's like, I'm done. Let's get out of here. I'm going. So they go ahead and they move to another area. So after they move, of course, he found where she moved. And you think it ended? Do you think he was done? Absolutely not. This man kidnaps her dog. Yes, he kidnaps the family dog. Once he kidnapped the family dog, she's like, the cops come, and she tells the cops, he's like, is anybody gonna do this? Oh, this part I forgot to say. This man Carlo, when he leaves that house after the housing sale, he takes his keys and he keys her car hard. I like to fell out laughing, and I'm gonna tell you, I ain't never ever see a man do that. That was funny for me because I've never heard of a man or seen a man doing that. But hey, it is what it is, I guess. Um, all's fair when you having illicit affairs, I guess. So she tells the cop, yes, I know somebody who tried to hurt me. And she tells them the truth. At this point, she's just telling everything. The husband is sitting right there. He's looking shocked because he don't know. Now, he's like, when the cops leave, he's like, you slept with him, didn't you? So she finally confesses the truth, and she tells him, yes, I'm so sorry. It was a moment of weakness. And like you could see, like that man who played that scene was good, because to me, he asked the exact question which you would think that a man would ask. He was like, how many times you sleep with him? Like, was it one night stand or was it an affair? When she's like, does that matter? He knew it was an affair. So yeah, that does matter. It does, like, I mean, either way it go, cheating is cheating, but I guess that really hit him harder that it was an affair. It was something that was ongoing. So he's like, I can't believe this. She was like, well, do you have protection? Do we have protection? He was like, yeah, I have I have my dad's lollipop. On this channel we call lollipops. He's like, I have my dad's lollipop in a safe, so I'm good. He was like, but he's telling her, he was like, I got to talk to our daughter. I got to tell her about what happened and let her know that we're getting divorced. She's like, divorce? He's like, yeah, I'm done. I can't do this, blah, blah, blah. And she's like begging him because she's like, I love you. I'm so sorry. I want you. I don't want nobody else but you. So that's right, lollipop. So he's like, oh, you love me, but was having an affair. So next thing you know, she goes ahead and she's like, all right, listen, let me just talk to our daughter first. Let me talk to her. And she goes ahead and she leaves. She tries to call the daughter. And who shows up at the daughter's school? Carlo, the Italian man. That's right. He shows up at the school. And while he's at the school, he's telling the daughter, he's like, hey, hey. So the daughter and her friend's like, oh, who's he? Who's he? Oh, my goodness. And daughter's like, he's someone who works with my mom. And so Carlo's like, she says to Carlos, she said, what are you doing here? He is like, oh, I'm a guest lecturer. And she's like, oh, that's really cool. And she tells him, well, I'm not sure if I want to do photography or painting. He is like, well, you're young, explore everything. He said, hey, I have a position. I'm staying here and I have a position. If you're interested, an internship, you can intern for me. So she's pumped and happy because she's like, okay, this man knows my mom, so it's safe. And he's offering me an internship for art. So, that's gonna look good. So she's all for it. So she hops in the car. Boy, I tell you, instincts, we got to use our instincts more often. Just because somebody know our family members, listen to that inner gut. I'm gonna talk to y'all later about listening to your intuition because a lot of us suppress our intuition when we need to be listening to it more often. Thank you. So next thing you know, she gets in the car, and the next scene you see her and him standing at the family's house with him having a lollipop to the daughter's back and basically telling the father to open the door. He opens the door, and all you see next is them, tied up. He got them tied up or whatever in like the plastic wrap ties or whatever, and duct tape over their mouth. And he basically sends a picture to the mother. So now she knows that this man has her family and she is not happy. Of course. Of course, why would she be? So she goes back to the family home and she sneaks in. She sees the husband, she sees the daughter, she sees them both, and she sees them tied up. So she kind of creeps over. While this is going on, the Italian guy, Carlo, is upstairs in their bedroom. This man then pulls out a suitcase and he is packing her bags. This is how determined this man is. He's like, oh, you coming with me whether you like it or not. You are leaving with me, Miss Ma'am. And it's just so weird to see this scene because I'm like, this man is really off. So she goes ahead and she comes back and she's trying to untie the husband, but she doesn't have anything to untie with. So she pulls the duct tape off his mouth and she's asking him, and he's like, go, go. The mom and the daughter are telling her to leave. And basically, told her, he said, go and call 911. So she's hearing him come downstairs, so she tries to hide. Now she forgot to put the duct tape back on her husband's mouth, so the guy sees that the duct tape is missing. So he's like, came over. He's like, why you take the duct tape off? Because at first he's thinking she's in there. So he walks around trying to look for her, but she does good creeping and sneaking. And I'm like, good job at that. Because a lot of times these movies, you'll see people creep and sneak and they'll trip, fall, or make a sound or step on a creaking board, something. But He doesn't figure it out. And so he comes back and he's like telling the husband, why you take off the duct tape? He's like, you want to be a hero? Bam. And he hits him, like knees him in the face or whatever, and kind of knocks him out. So then he goes and takes a lollipop and he trains it on the husband. And that's when she jumps out and like, no, don't touch him. Da, da, da. She's like, I'll leave with you. I'll leave with you. I'll go with you, whatever you want. And he was like, you're gonna come with me now? You're gonna come with me now? She's like, yes, yes. I want to be with you. I love you. I love you. Just leave my family. I will come with you now as long as you leave my family. And so then they start walking out the back door. The husband, of course, he's really trying to stop this. He's, yeah, he was angry when he said he wanted divorce, but you could tell he still loves his wife. And his wife is leaving off with this man with a lollipop. And the man is definitely not balanced up there. So as she walking out the back door, the husband and the daughter still tied up in the living room. And the guy turns around. He says, I don't know if I really should leave them because they will always be in the back of your mind. If I go ahead and take care of them now, we can have our own future. And she's like, no, please, please. I want you. I love you. Let's just leave. Let's just leave, please. Well, as he's saying all this, who comes running out the house and does this like dive bomb or whatever, but the husband. So the husband and the guy get to tussling. The guy get the better of him, and the guy with the lollipop, and the guy the husband sprawls out on the ground. So the guy trains it on him again, but the wife, Miss Megan, hops on top of the husband's like, no, the truth is I don't love you. I love my husband. I don't want you. I don't care. I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't want to leave with you. And so as she's saying this, she knows she's saying this so that he can come at her. And that's exactly what he starts to do. He's coming at her because now he's angry. How dare you say you don't love me? No, you're going to love me. This is how he's acting. And so he goes and he, do a little smack 1 2 1 2 to Megan. And the husband is like, trying to tussle again. And while the tussling, the lollipop falls to the ground. And the husband is really trying to get the best of him. And next thing you know, the guy rises up. Now, mind you, there's two lollipops in play at this point. The husband had one, and that one fell, and the wife had, and the Italian guy had one. So when the Italian guy was turned around and he had the lollipop trained on the husband again, and this time I believe he was going to do it. Megan lollipopped him, pop, pop, right in the back. And as this was going on, you can hear the sirens come. But that was the end of him. Lollipops out of here. He was done. Yeah, the Italian guy was done after that. So jump scene toward the end where you see now Megan and the husband have made up. They've rekindled, and she sees the error of her ways. The husband finished his book, and they are basically trying to live happily ever after. And so the movie itself was actually pretty good. I would honestly say, I think it's some life lessons in there. Yeah, they did try to, like in the Western movies. Yeah, they tried to. It didn't work out though because the husband was more of like a pacifist type of guy. Like she said, he didn't like guns, and he was like, shaking, and even the Italian guy was like, you're not gonna pop. You're not gonna pop. Like, you know what I mean? It's clear that you don't, you know what I mean, because you're shaking. And he was just like, you know. So yeah, it was yeah, honestly, if you my husband and you trying to save me, but don't save me like that because you might accidentally pop me. So thank you guys for joining me. And all of you have a wonderful, wonderful night. Good night.